Iga, big bad Iga. She's back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, she's taking on Mary Boo, and this is going to be a good match. I'm your host, Good Energy, Tennis in a Minute. Welcome to Tennis After Dark. Listen, guys, some of you are new to the channel. You came in, had a quick look around, and I'll remind you, I operate off the Fair Use Reporting Act, Fair Dealings Act. I give you tennis coverage. That's right, guys. We talk about match highlights, statistics, tennis news, and mixed with my fair use criticism. That's right, guys. I'm allowed to criticize and give my opinion. That's right. It's my opinion. Everyone's entitled to theirs. And if you have one, I encourage you to join the comments, but give your opinion. Do not insult other commenters. Do not is that even a word? Do not insult other subscribers, okay? Give your opinion and debate them on why your opinion's better or makes more sense. But stop the name calling. If you come here talking trash, you're going to get bounced up out of here. We don't do that here. Now, this is going to be a matchup here where Mary Boo is a defensive powerhouse. She's never faced Iga Swiatek. And I'm just concerned. I want to know how this crowd is going to respond to Iga. And the reason I say that is if we watch last match against Osaka, the crowd spoke. They let the fans know how they felt. And I think we're kind of reaching a turning point, right? And the reason I say that is the fans, you guys don't understand. Just having so many videos, I get at least 100 comments a day. Some of them I have to block because a lot of them are just, demeaning, derogatory statements towards the players, whether it's Iga, Rybakina, Sabalenka, Ostapenko, Coco, Osaka. We don't allow disrespect to the players, right? You can give your fair criticism if it's game on something they're doing, but you can't just blatantly insult people. What happens is, especially with this last match, the fans were kind of disrespectful towards Iga. And if you watch the match, they were clearly cheering for Osaka to win. Everything Osaka did right, they were erupting with joy. And I think the fans, they want a new champion, right? I think we're reaching a turning point where and this is my fair criticism from watching all the matches. I I think they're getting sick of Iga. That's what it seems like. And, possibly things like, especially in that match in particular, let's just talk about that match. I think that they're getting sick of Iga because not only did she make Osaka wait at the net when the match started, she turned around. She did all her stuff. She turned around, she drank water, turned back around, turned around again and drank water, looking at them. I thought that was disrespectful. I mean, Osaka's a four-time slam champ. She was and has been a four-time slam champ when there was only three ladies on tour with four slams or more. That was Serena, Venus, and Osaka. And I mean, Iga, look, she's just a newcomer. I thought that was disrespectful. But I think the fans, and look, you can't fool the fans. I mean, they watch the matches. We can see what's going on. And I posed a question, you know, what you do in front of the public and millions of fans watching, we can see. But we can't see what goes on behind closed doors. Those are the real questions. And I think Novak said it best. It's like, players, they do anything to get an edge. And he's like, people don't realize tennis is not like these major sports, basketball, football, baseball, where opponents have different locker rooms. He's like, before the match, we're literally in the same small locker room. And depending on where the tournament's being played, a lot of times they're back there an hour or two before the match. You're preparing for the match. You have time to put your sneakers on, drink water, do the things you need to do. So when you get to the court and you should be ready to play. The fact that you're drinking water like before, then a sip of water is not going to dehydrate you. These players have amazing resources. It's just, to me, that's disrespect. You can try and sugarcoat it all you want. You can try to be naive and turn the other cheek and show you have no class or integrity. But if you're going to be honest with yourself, that's disrespect. It's gamesmanship, but it's a form of disrespect to the fans, the chair umpire, to your opponent, especially an opponent that's so classy like Osaka. I've said this in the past. Look, I've played in hundreds of matches. 440 speed. You know, at 440 speed, hundreds of matches. My basement is full of trophies. If I have to do little things to get an edge over an opponent, I don't want to be playing. I don't need to be playing. Like, if I can't beat you just by playing the sport, then I probably can't beat you and don't deserve to beat you. And I think the fans are getting sick of the little antics, and let's go back a couple years ago. French Open. French Open marketing team said Iga Swiatek she didn't get any primetime matches because they didn't feel she was marketable, right? And then I felt she kind of went on a, I don't know. I just felt she kind of played the bad ego role, right? She started doing things to just, you know, to rebel, if you will. And when I see that they're still going on, then I kind of think, well, maybe it wasn't to rebel. Maybe it's just what she does. And I think, again, I'll refer to Novak because Novak said it best. You know, Nadal used to irk him off so much that it would throw off his game mentally. They're in the same locker room getting ready for the match. He's running, he's jumping, he's sprinting in the little locker room. He's like, guy, come on. I'm trying to get ready and gather my thoughts for the match. And it's like anyone that has competed, you see what's going on. And the fans see what's going on. You can't fool the people. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool the people all the time. And I just asked the question, if this is what we're doing in front of the public, what are we doing when no one's watching to get an edge? I just, look, that's a legitimate question. If we're doing this when the public's watching, what are we doing when no one's watching to get an edge? Be real with yourself. Don't be a clown. Don't be silly. Don't be an idiot. Be real with yourself. If we're doing this when the fans are watching, what are we doing when no one's watching? It's a serious question. If you've competed, you know how sports are. Everyone wants to win, right? Not everyone. Osaka not. She'll walk away from the game. She'll choose integrity first. And I think the fans have spoken. And the reason I say that is because if you're not familiar, they're not allowing, that's right, they're not allowing alcohol now at the French Open because they feel the fans are or have been disrespectful. And they feel it's a way to kind of make the games more peaceful. Listen, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that is a big mistake. You don't want to start penalizing the fans. You start penalizing the fans, you have nothing. We work for people, we work for the people. Without the people, we have nothing. You start penalizing the fans that make the sponsors, the endorsements, that create these TV deals. They boycott this French Open, they're done. The WTA is done. They won't recover from it. Now, as much as I promote the sport and try to move it forward, we have to have a lot more respect for the fans. And I say that to say this. If you're holding up the fans, your players, that your opponents you're playing against, the chair umpires, everyone watching, we all see this. If you're holding people up, that's not disrespect to them. They're going to give it right back to you. The world is round for a reason. It's a metaphor. What goes around comes around. You can't constantly hold up your opponents and disrespect the fans and make them wait and don't think they're not going to rebel. We're reaching the point where I think the fans are tired of it. And I see a lot of the comments and they're starting to get tired of it. They really are. We have to show more respect to these tickets are expensive. People spend their last money to come watch these matches. They don't want to see them being disrespected. And I think you saw clearly how bad those fans wanted Osaka to win. They want a new champion in France, guys. That's not me. This is me reporting what's going on. And a lot of people, they don't want to accept the truth. You're living in denial. The fans, they're tired of it. They really are. And a lot of the players are. They started a couple years ago. They were starting to kind of say stuff, but a lot of the players don't want the smoke, right? They don't want to get into a back and forth and ruin their brand. They don't want the public backlash, but the players are tired of it. They see it. They've been talking about it. There was a crackdown on what was going on a couple years ago. You know, the whole drama with, jumping jacks at the net and doing stuff. It comes out. You know what I mean? It's the things you do stuff to win. I'm telling you, what's going on behind the scenes, you know, that's what I'm concerned about. But I'm telling you, we have to be more respectful for the fans. They make it all possible, and to take away alcohol for these fans, look, I'm not a drinker. I don't care. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. That was never my thing. But to I think a lot of fans are going to be upset, and I'm anxious to see how they respond in this match because I think they want a new champion. I just think they're tired of it, and they showed they would not respond that way if they weren't tired of it. The French fans, I mean, we're talking about a reigning and defending champion, and they weren't having it. So that speaks volumes, guys. And if what I can say is just respect the fans and respect your opponents, respect the umpires, or what goes around comes around. That's going to come back to you, and it's not fun. It's not fun. You're disrespecting the fans, holding them up, drinking water. Like, you didn't just have 2 hours in the back room to make sure you're hydrated. It's crazy. Changing sneakers, it's like, that stuff is crazy, man. You never saw Serena do stuff like that. And it's not like it's just one incident. Like, I could post 30. That's crazy. And again, the players aren't going to say anything because they don't want the smoke. But I think the fans have spoken. I think they're tired of it. Now, this matchup here, guys, and that's my opinion. From someone that watches, guys, I'm not the average casual fan. I'm watching every match. I see what's going on here. You know, now Bouzkova, and I said I think Iga's clear at least for the next couple rounds. Now Bouzkova doesn't have the power, in my opinion, to threaten Iga. I don't think she has the power. And Iga's put on some serious power, guys, right? We talked about the 21 WTA championships, and a lot of people, they didn't watch those championships, so they don't know what was said. The consensus from the professionals was that Iga was the weakest player there. They think I just made this up. A lot of people think I just make stuff up. Like I had someone upset at Georgie the other day. And again, a lot of my videos, if you watch them, it's my old videos that if the video I do today will start getting promoted 2 months from now. It's just how YouTube is, whatever. I don't care. But nonetheless, someone's upset at Georgie. And I'm like, guy, you haven't watched Georgie the last 15 years? You live under a rock? What I said in the video is what the consensus was from the professionals and Hall of Famers that played with her. She's never changed her game. Her game has been the same. Like one Hall of Famer said, look, I played Georgie 15 years ago. Her game is exactly the same. Our game plan when we play her, it never changed from watching film. So you have fans that they're so like stuck on the persona of the player that they actually forget what the freak is going on. Like, don't be clueless now. Don't be stuck. And we're seeing this a lot with celebrities, where people, they're worshiping them a little too much, not realizing that a lot of these people are just horrible people, that like don't get caught up in the persona. When you see someone like Osaka, like pouring her heart out, is full of integrity, to walk away from the sport because she sees it's making her a horrible person. Don't ignore that. And I think the French fans, they let you know, look, Osaka, we love you, we miss you, and we're glad you're back because you make sports beautiful. And I see someone like Elena Rybakina, it's starting to turn her into an animal. And she hasn't been, I told you, she's always been the sweetest player on tour. It's starting to turn her into an animal. We've seen Coco Coco's, I've always said it, she's one of the classiest players on tour. You don't see her in drama. You don't see her disrespecting her opponents. It took 6 times for her being robbed in New York for her to finally speak up. It took 5 times from Pierre robbing her with calls for her to finally speak up. She's a sweet young little girl, and we see what the game does to players, and Rebecca is starting to turn her into an animal. But to get to that number one spot, it takes a lot, but to stay there, it takes even more. Guys, I think this matchup goes under 19 and a half games. That's going to be the pick. I just don't think Bouzkova has the power to really disrupt what Iga wants to do. I like the under 19 and a half games. That's going to be the official pick there, guys. Um, that's what I think is going to happen. But nonetheless, Bouzkova is a defensive powerhouse. She will get balls back, but the problem is Bouzkova, she can go double digit rallies, and that's what you need to do to beat Iga. But the problem is I don't think she can cap it off with a winner. That's going to be a lot of the struggle she runs into. So we'll take the under 19 and a half, guys. This video here, I want you to like it, show some love, and remember, guys, we have to treat the fans better. Like, if we respect the fans, they're going to respect us. But if we're doing things like making them wait while we drink water and then look over, drink more water, they're going to respond accordingly. Like, most people are good people. Like, if you do something that's irking them, then they're going to respond and they're going to tell you. And we have to acknowledge that as players. And I think Iga did say it best. She said, look, I know you guys, you pay to see us and you're the reason we make money. Exactly. Nail on the head. So let's be respectful to the tennis gods, to our opponents, to the fans, and the chair umpires. Let's do classy things. Let's show sportsmanship. And I've said it for a long time, man. Look, I've played hundreds of matches. If I can't beat someone, I can't beat you. I'm not gonna go out. I'm gonna train and practice as hard as I can, but I'm not doing all these little mind games and tricks to get an edge. Man, I'm not with that. I'm just not with it. If I can't beat you, I can't beat you. I don't need to get an edge that much to try and throw you off your game. That's to me, that's I don't know, it kind of falls somewhere outside of sportsmanship and integrity and just respect. Like, bro, let's get it on. If you got it, you got it. I don't need to try to take you out your game. I don't need money that much. I don't need awards that much. I don't need accolades that much.